Hi, this is Ariel. Welcome to my sewing room. I have had a lot of comments asking about my sewing space, the setup, the organization, and I'm really glad because I have a lot to show you. So this video is a tour of my sewing room. Come on. Welcome! I just finished putting away the Sailor Moon project, which was everywhere. So I thought it was the perfect time to show you because it's all neat and clean. It's true that I'm very organized with my sewing stuff, but also this place is actually my living room. Ooh, the secret side. And I don't live alone and I don't want to be in the middle of sewing stuff all the time, constantly. Because this is an apartment and this is the main room, so I'm just here all the time. That is the main reason why I have a very organized studio. Can you tell that I don't live alone? You have a clue. What a nerd. And there is also my computer. Oh, this is a USB port, I swear. Okay. And just to show off my keyboard, which I customized because this key only does the star emoji. Nice. This part where I spend most of my time. This table that I built myself, as you can see by this fancy construction. And actually it can come down like this. You have to pull this and this slides inside of this. It works, but actually I never put it down. This I use as a bin. And here is the tool rack. I've seen many people use that. It's just the IKEA thing. These are all the tools that I use all the time. I just added those plastic cups that I spray painted gold. And I put them on a hook and now they can hold my pencils. Fabric scissors, paper scissors, pencils, pens, tools, markers, some glue, all the pliers, very useful. Fabric weights that are actually two pieces of metal that I wrapped in fabric. Sewing clips, very useful. Pins, hand sewing stuff, more pins in a magnetic cup, very useful. Groot, Ariel, some little pin cushion that I made. Tape, glue, notebook, box cutter stuff, all the molding stuff, but I don't really use it very much. And my fancy Japanese rollers with the curve. And also, if you don't have this is just a plastic box with an opening to put the broken pins and the blades. Remember to not put these sharp things directly into the garbage. It can hurt yourself and it can hurt the people who handle the garbage. So you put it in the plastic box and when it's full you tape it and you can throw it away. I don't sit down a lot when I work, but sometimes I sit on this, which is very useful to get all the stuff from above this. Or sometimes when I'm hand sewing and just sitting there in front of a movie. And this is my trusty ring light. I got it to take pictures, but it's actually very useful to use as a work lamp. It's kind of ugly though. In this corner, we have the sewing machine. So this is my sewing table. I have my main sewing machine, which is a Bernina. It's from the 50s and very sturdy. I had two of those, but one has the motor completely broken. Little rainbow sewing guide, cushion for pins, and a little hook for my thread snipper. With a thread holder. Usually I have two plastic Usually I have two plastic boxes behind this, which are filled with all the stuff that I'm sewing. This is my serger. A very cheap one, but it does its job. When I use it, they move a little. And this corkboard I use to put all my sketches and list of things. That is very useful because it's in front of my sewing machine. The shelf above it has all the big spools of thread and some stuff that I didn't put away because it's shiny. And next we have the WCS Comedy Award, so people cannot say I am not funny anymore because I have this to prove it. Some paintbrushes and a plant that is miraculously not dead. I don't know how it's called in English. In French it's a begonia with a hand-painted planter. And here is a little trick. I put tape with magnets here. That way you can do... Nice, huh? And underneath the table we have the extra sewing machine that I got for my 16th birthday, which is still working perfectly. And here is all the foam scraps and styrene scraps. This is part of the only UFO I have. If you are like me, you enjoy learning a lot of new stuff all the time, which is why I am super thankful to have found Skillshare. They are the sponsor of this video. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of online classes that covers a ton of different subjects. There is a huge number of skills you can learn, from knitting, watercolor, baking, or anything else that you can possibly imagine. Recently, I've been taking this Jaza Brooks class on how to talk and present to a camera like a pro, because I am still so stressed of talking to you like this. And this class has been fun and very eye-opening. I want to make my YouTube channel better and more pleasant to watch, and Skillshare has a lot of useful classes for this. If you're interested in trying out any of those classes and either developing new skills or refining existing ones, Skillshare is a great place for that. It's ad-free, and there are new premium classes launches every single week. And if English isn't your first language, like me, bonjour, you can get Skillshare's entire catalog with subtitles in Spanish, Portuguese, German, and French. If you are interested in joining Skillshare, you can click the link in the description, and the first 1,000 people who use that link will get a 1 month free trial of Skillshare. Thank you for sponsoring this channel. So in the main part, I have this big thing that you have in the back. That is actually a few things stuck together. I kind of Frankensteined it, but I'm not very good, so when you look at it close, it's not super well done. Anyways, this unit I got from my stepmom's basement. It was kind of rotting, but I managed to kind of make it new again with a lot of wood putty, and I had to treat it for bugs and repair a few things, but it works nice. And I got this one in a thrift store, and I just had to cut the top and the middle part so it was the same size. And then I could connect everything with some pieces of plywood. I made it myself, so you can see that it's not really professionally done, but it works. I rubbed everything with walnut oil and it looks kind of cohesive. And these drawers are actually plastic thing from the 70s, but I added a fake front and the little thing here. Anyways, let's look into every drawer. On the top, we have the big stuff. Big drawing paper and spray cans, and this is all leather stuff. These are filled with some wool spools. The next one is all the products, like glue, gesso, all the thing for molding and sculpting. This is some foam clay, some glue again in the back. Above it there is all the big papers like bubble wrap and packing paper. Over there is the glue gun, a lot of fake flowers and feathers. You will learn a lot of French words today. Feathers, plume. The next one is boning. Little piece of fabric. Other chemical products here, but small. And technical paper like print paper and ironing paper, and more spray cans over there. See, it's not closing super well, but And the last one has all of the fur, synthetic fur, and all the leather scraps. A creepy styrofoam head and some electronic stuff. And over there is the box for the other sewing machine. The pièce de résistance is this. All my trims, mostly organized by color on little pieces of cardboard like this. And a few rolls and bolts and random stuff like horsehair or braids or this. Chains and cords and fringes. All the trim. And at the bottom I have all my buttons, kind of organized. We have here a box with all my white lace. Here is the other color of lace, my metallic thread. And here it's all zippers and extra pieces of trim here. This drawer has a few tools, but not the ones that I use the most. Oh, this is awesome. I don't know if it was made for this, but when you need to pull a little string through a channel, very useful. I have more chalk and needles and more thimble than I have fingers, but I don't even use them anyways. The other drawer is tools that I don't use that much. Ooh, this one is very nice. It's a micro stitch. Let's keep going here. All this is all things for my sewing machine, like all the feet, sewing needles, but also other stuff like, how do you call that? Clip, safety pins, rubber bands. Ugh, just have a name. Clothing clips for clothes. I don't remember. These are empty for now. They were filled with all the painting supplies, but I took that off and now I just leave them there because they are nice. Maybe I will use them for other stuff. This is a little cushion that I have for when I spend a lot of time on the floor. We have a painting palette that I don't use much, but it's pretty, so I leave it here. And here are all my sewing patterns. I make them all myself, so they are arranged like this. I don't use them that much because I like to start fresh for every new project, which is not the smartest thing, but eh. This is all fabric swatches. This is special papers. This used to hold my old computer, but now it's just pretty here. This is a shoemaker anvil. I use it sometimes when I put on grommets or rivets. I got it for €5. Very useful. And this is also, and this is a hammer anvil, very old, but also useful. I don't put them in the center of the shelf because I don't fully trust my construction. Below this is a box with some unfinished thing or fabric that I need to put away. We also have a box with just rhinestones because I have a problem. Okay. And when we keep going up, there are also drawers here with the embroidery and knitting stuff. It's too high. Underneath that, these drawers are not separated. I don't know. It's not the best design, but okay. Anyway, this is all inks and pigments. Over there we have fabric paints and dyes. Fabric medium, very useful to turn any paint into fabric paint. Underneath, just oil paint that I found in an attic. Here is just envelopes and paper. This thing is all my leather tools. Leather. Half of those are like 60 years old, but it's all very useful. More leather tools, the brush and punching tools. Some alcohol markers that a friend gave to me. Very nice. This is an eyelet press. Very cool, but I don't have the right attachment, so I don't use it very often, as you can see. Don't look at it. Okay. Next, it's all writing and painting supplies, like too many pens, too many pencils, big brushes, small brushes, and all the colors here. With some coloring pencils and pastels. I don't really use those very much, but this is an old watercolor box from my mom. Then there is office supplies, scotch tape, and stickers, and pretty papers. So you have seen all here, you have seen all here, and this is all fabric. This is all the plain fabric with the interfacing, batting, neoprene and horsehair stuff. Also a lot of cotton sheet that I use for muslin. And the other cupboard is all the fancy fabric. Ooh. A lot of it is cheap fabric and some expensive here and there, but you have like the sequins and the shiny and the shiny and the shiny. Okay, there is a theme here. All the yellow and gold, all the cotton prints. And oh, this is a Spider-Man bedsheet. I want to make a ball gown with it. Could be fun. Here's all velvet and glitter fabric and the magic sequin fabric. Ew. The rest of the super ugly fabric that you maybe remember from my pink dress, on top of the most expensive fabric I have, which is this gold and this black. There are beaded laces. Maybe I will do something for Halloween with this one because it's just too beautiful. And in the center we have my favorite part, which is all these drawers with all the cutting mats here. We have some cords, some ribbons, some elastic and bias tape, some fancy appliques in white, appliques in other colors, appliques in black. Then there is jewelry leftovers, little scraps and broken jewelry that are kind of useful for crafting. Then it's jewelry making supplies, chains. I got them from the, how do you call that? The scrap metal landfills. I don't know the name, but when I go there, they usually have a lot of chains and a lot of very nice jewelry stuff. Next is sequins. This used to be sequins and rhinestones, but as you can see, I didn't have any. I have too much. So this is just sequins and a few rhinestones now. Next we have glitter. Oh. Ooh, shiny, shiny. And the last one is Fimo clay that I haven't done in years, but yeah. This column is threads, black, white, all the colors, all the embroidery threads, which is the nicest drawer. I put each one on a little piece of cardboard and it looks very nice. Then we have rivets, eyelets, buckles, snaps and hooks and bars, a lot of old ones also. There is a lot of very old stuff everywhere. Next we have beads, all the blue, white and green. More beads, all the yellow, pink, orange. We have big beads. I keep dismantling jewelry that I found in a thrift store for them. Next you have very big beads, mostly plastic things. Next we have random stuff. All this I have to turn into gifts for Japan. This is all pulled in resin. This I made in Fimo clay. Googly eyes, of course. And more random crap, like bells or spiders, and pieces of plastic stuff that I can maybe turn into something. I know that I have a lot of stuff, but I tend to hoard things if they fit in a little box. Also, I think it's true for a lot of people, but when you tell people around you that you sew, sometimes people tend to give you a lot of stuff. Like big cardboard box filled with sewing supplies and old fabrics. This happened to me, I think, 5 times. Most of it was rotten or too damaged, but I tend to salvage a lot of stuff and end up with new tools or like things that you saw here, or old laces and old trims and things that you don't really know how to use, but maybe someday you will use them. Anyways, I try to not overfill my house because it's just an apartment. I don't have much more space than this, but I am aware that I do have a lot of things, but you don't need all this crap to sew. If you are a bit thrifty, you don't need all the fancy tools and you don't even need a sewing machine. Anyways, I didn't finish the tour. So we have the best part here, and also we have this corner with the ironing table and the stuff hidden behind the curtains. In the ironing corner, we have this table, which is actually this little unit that I got second-hand. I just added the wheels and I very professionally built the ironing board into it. Still need to change that. Underneath there is all the ironing supplies, like the board, my cheap iron and a spray bottle. An unfinished project here, I don't know if it will ever be complete, but... And underneath that you have all the very bulky fabric. This is not the best, but it works fine and you can push it away. Hi! And behind this we have some fabric bolts, an easel and the green screen hanging thing. And in this corner I have the very big stuff like the roll of foam. And these are fabric backdrops that I painted, but they are not very useful. And various pipes to build stuff. In there is all the photo stuff and also paper rolls. And when we go back in the main place, oh, here's the picture of inspirational people. This is a bit of the Sailor Moon stuff that I just finished. And here I have my garden. As you can see, plants are very happy with me. This is 2 IKEA units that I've had since I was a teenager. They were both red and I wanted to cover them, so I made this. This is all scraps of fabric that I glued. It's all painted and the handles are just pieces of wood that I found in a forest. I was really happy with this, but I didn't finish this part, which I should have done 4 years ago. But maybe it will happen. Anyways, inside is all my sewing books. I have 3 of Janet Arnold's one. This is all technical sewing from when I was in fashion school. This awesome one. Some movie costumes that I really like to go through. Like this one. Star Wars, museum stuff, cosplay stuff, the Victorian dressmaker, and other very interesting things. And underneath is mostly drawings and sketches from costumes and all my notes. And my Dremel and this and a fire extinguisher because I want to be ready for every kind of situation. Okay. It is very hot. It is a very hot day, but I can't really open the windows because the seagulls are seagulling. Anyways, this place is my favorite place in the world, but also I have this dream that maybe someday I will have a house with a garden and a studio that is separate from my normal life, just to sometimes play video games without being in the center of all these sparkles and this glitter. What do you think of this place? I hope someone found this visit interesting. Maybe you learned something about a new tool or maybe some organization tips. And whatever the size of the space you have and how many tools, I really hope that you have at least a little corner to create things that make you happy like me. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe and I will see you in the next video. Bye!